On a busy factory floor, a worker attempts to guide material by hand into a fully operational industrial winder while the machine remains running. Within seconds, everything changes. Never place hands, clothing, or any part of the body near the material entry area of rotating rollers to straighten material or adjust alignment. Standing on an articulating ladder positioned on a front porch, a homeowner attempts to adjust the ladder's upper section without climbing down. As the hinge locks are released, the ladder's configuration changes. Never attempt to unlock or reposition the hinges of a multi-position ladder while standing on it. These ladders rely entirely on locking pins and joint mechanisms to maintain rigidity. Always descend fully to the ground before making any ladder adjustment, regardless of how minor it may appear. Inside a metal recycling yard, a worker stands too close to an operating wire winding machine. Never approach or attempt to manually manage a rotating spool without a fixed physical barrier or an active safety interlock in place. Winding machines generate a steady rotational force intended to move material inward in a controlled manner. Once interaction occurs with moving components, that force can significantly reduce safe response time. A clearly defined no-contact zone must always be maintained around rotating equipment. Also, emergency stop controls should remain accessible, but they do not replace proper distancing. In a secured outdoor work area, two workers begin climbing a tall, narrow mobile scaffold tower to access an elevated position. As they ascend, the combined weight begins to affect overall stability. Never climb a mobile scaffold unless all casters are locked and outriggers or stabilizers are fully deployed. Scaffold towers are naturally top-heavy. If wheels remain unlocked or the base width is insufficient, even routine climbing motion can shift the center of gravity beyond the intended base support. If the wheels are not locked, the scaffold is not ready for use. Always inspect the base before climbing and confirm that stabilizers are correctly positioned. In a roadside repair yard, a mechanic positions himself close to a large commercial truck tire while inflating it. As internal air pressure builds, an unexpected pressure failure develops within the tire structure. Never inflate a commercial truck tire without using a certified safety cage or maintaining an appropriate distance from the sidewall. Large tires store significant energy during inflation. If pressure integrity is compromised, that stored pressure may discharge unpredictably rather than remaining safely confined. Truck tires should always be placed inside an approved inflation cage or secured with a restraining device designed for heavy-duty use. When a cage is unavailable, use an extension hose with a clip-on chuck and remain well clear during inflation. Inside a busy warehouse, a forklift operator moves a large glass panel using improvised straps suspended from the forks. As the load is lifted, something goes wrong. Never lift large glass panels or fragile materials using loose straps on unprotected forks. Glass does not flex to absorb movement or vibration. When stability is compromised, stress is transferred unevenly through the panel rather than being dispersed safely. Only use equipment designed specifically for glass handling, such as vacuum lifters or A-frame transport carts that support the full panel. Specialized tools are essential when handling materials that offer little tolerance for instability. Inside a fast-paced commercial kitchen, a worker carries a fully loaded prep tray across a tiled floor. As the worker steps forward, things didn't go as planned. Never rush across a commercial kitchen floor, especially while carrying equipment, food, or hot items. Kitchen environments are constantly exposed to grease vapors, moisture, food residue, and cleaning solutions that create microscopic surface layers. Workers should move deliberately, remain aware of floor conditions, and report spills immediately. Inside a busy warehouse, a worker guides a heavy pallet into a freight elevator and steps away, just as the platform moves unexpectedly. Never rely on a freight elevator or hydraulic lift that shows hesitation, drifting, uneven motion, or delayed response. These systems depend on hydraulics, mechanical brakes, and control valves to counteract gravity. When a component degrades or disengages, the platform may no longer hold position reliably. Routine inspections, warning signage, and strict operating procedures are critical. Behind a sealed shipping container, a worker reaches for the door without checking what's inside. As the lock releases, the unsecured material shifts toward the door area. Never stand directly in front of a shipping container door during opening. Cargo often repositions during transit due to vibration, braking forces, and uneven stacking. When this occurs, the container doors act as the primary barrier holding the load in place. Container doors should always be opened from the side rather than directly in front. Use safety chains, straps, or door restraints when available, and open doors slowly to evaluate internal conditions. Every container should be treated as if the load has moved, as assumptions about stability frequently lead to loading dock incidents. In a muddy field, the rotary tiller keeps churning through the soil. Focused on the path ahead, the farmer steps closer than recommended. Never approach or attempt to clear debris from a rotary tiller while the engine is running and the tilling components remain in motion. These machines apply continuous mechanical force to break soil and vegetation and are not designed to pause automatically when resistance changes. Reduced footing, loose clothing, or missteps near the active assembly increase operational risk. Before approaching the tiller, disengage the drive system, shut down the engine, and allow all moving parts to come to a complete stop. Safe operation relies on preparation and spacing rather than reaction speed. In an agricultural work area, a forage chipper runs non-stop as branches are fed into its intake. A worker stands directly in front of it, stepping closer to guide the material, but things didn't go quite as planned. Never stand directly in front of a chipper's feed entry area, or use hands, feet, or body positioning to encourage material movement. Feed systems are designed to advance material automatically once it enters the defined intake boundary. The machine continues operating according to its design parameters regardless of operator positioning. Material should always be fed from the side, outside the manufacturer-defined intake boundary. Use push tools, longer branches, or approved clearing devices to manage jams. Inside a high-temperature industrial foundry, a technician leans toward an active casting line to observe a mechanical irregularity. Within seconds, heated metal material shifts along the flow path. Never position the body directly over or in front of flowing heated metal material or active casting equipment. Heated materials can behave unpredictably when exposed to moisture, contaminants, or pressure variation. Even small disturbances can result in movement beyond the intended flow path. Before conducting close-range inspection or maintenance, metal flow must be fully stopped or shielded using approved physical barriers. Workers must wear protective equipment rated for high heat and heated material exposure. To keep learning from these important workplace safety lessons, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. Stay aware, stay safe.